It was a story of ancient times. There was a large Islamic state in the eastern mountains, which was ruled by King Adil, the king's only daughter. Afshan was very beautiful and obedient. One day, she took permission from her father and went out for a horse ride with her friends. While walking, she reached the mountainous area. It was spring at that time. The mountains were so green, and the fragrances and colors of various flowers all around made the sky so beautiful that even the sight of heaven would be so enchanting. Princess, you are going too far. Your soldiers have also said that it might not be appropriate to go further. When one of Princess Afshan's friends said, she got off her horse. Come on, let's leave the horses and walk here for a while and then return. Her other friends also got off their horses because they also wanted to walk on the green grass. Princess Afshan went a little further into the bushes and was surprised to see a large flower. This flower was only slightly larger than a normal rose. From a distance, it looked white, but here and there it was also showing red and pink colors. When the princess came closer and looked, sometimes one of its petals looked green, sometimes blue, and sometimes a petal looked yellow. Hey, the princess was very surprised. Then she turned and looked at the sun, which was right behind her. Is it changing its color due to the sun's rays, or is it like this naturally? The princess bent down in curiosity and smelled the flower, but there was no fragrance in it. But then her head started spinning and she fainted. The soldiers and friends rushed to pick her up and brought her to the palace. Due to the dense bushes and anxiety, no one noticed the flower, nor could they figure out how the princess had suddenly fainted while strolling. She may have been exhausted from the heat and long strolling. The royal sages and the king guessed the same thing and tried to bring the princess to consciousness. But even after every possible effort, she could not regain consciousness. The queen was very worried. What happened? Was she scared of something, or did she have a seizure? The worried king asked her friends and soldiers again and again. Everyone said that nothing had happened. She was strolling with everyone when she suddenly collapsed. When the royal sage also became tired, the king called the royal sages of other states. He also offered a reward that whichever sage would bring her to her senses would become the owner of half the state. Hearing this proclamation, sages from far away came running and tried their own methods. But the unconscious princess did not regain consciousness. A poor young man named Ahmed lived in a remote corner of the state and was worried about the increasing inflation. Fed up with poverty, one day he thought of stealing and becoming rich. Ahmed thought of this, and at night he decided to steal from the palace. Ahmed hid behind a pillar to avoid the sight of the guards and stood for some time. Then started climbing up through a pillar so that he could somehow enter through the open window above. Before the guard could complete his rounds, he quickly fell down and jumped through the window. This was Princess Afshan's room, where she was unconscious. When Ahmed saw the cupboard in front of him, he quickly went there and opened the cupboard and saw the diamond ornaments shining. She quickly started putting the ornaments in her bag, but in her panic, the jewelry box slipped from her hand and fell. At that moment, the effect of the seven-colored flower ended and the princess woke up from her unconsciousness after hearing the sound. Who? She got up and asked. Ahmed was frightened. Just then the room lit up and the soldiers entered. When the king came into the room, seeing the unconscious princess conscious, he could not control his emotions and started crying with joy. The princess herself could not understand what had happened and what that boy was doing in her room at night. She could not remember the past 15 days. The event of Princess Afshan regaining consciousness was so important that no one noticed that the thief who came into the room at night could also be a thief. Oh, young boy, who are you and how did you suddenly bring my daughter to consciousness? Every sage in the world was tired of trying to bring her to consciousness. The king asked Ahmed, who was standing there in a daze. Of course, it must be the royal sage of Turkestan, because he was supposed to come to see the princess by tomorrow morning. Anyway, whoever you are, we are grateful to you for making the impossible possible and bringing our beloved daughter to consciousness. As promised, we will hand over half of the kingdom to you. Ahmed thought for a moment. For him, this was a golden opportunity to improve his life. He could have spent the rest of his life comfortably in the royal palace. 1 minute. Peace be upon you. May I ask you something? Yes, yes? Say it, son. Your Majesty. Actually, I am not a sage. I am just an ordinary poor man from your own subjects. I used to earn my living by working hard. Fed up with poverty, I tried to steal from your palace for the first time today. The second thing is that, as you all are mentioning, I am sure that Princess Saeb must have smelled a strange flower of 7 colors that is found in the mountains on our side, and it is very rare. It only comes out in the spring season. I have never seen it either, but I have heard from my parents and neighbors that it changes color, and if a person smells it, he becomes unconscious for 2 weeks, and the person does not regain consciousness until its specific time is over. I think Princess Saeb, I must have smelled that flower. The princess said immediately, "Oh yes, I remember. I was in the garden. And that was a very strange and beautiful flower. But young man, by telling all this, you are creating difficulties for yourself. If you wanted to, you could have hidden this and become the owner of half the kingdom. You know that we punish those who try to steal severely," the king said. "Yes, I know, but I did not want to indulge in luxury, but thousands of young people like me, fed up with poverty, become thieves and robbers. My only request to you is to reduce inflation and have mercy on the poor of the state. I am very ashamed to hear your words. Perhaps Allah was supposed to make me realize this through my daughter's unconsciousness in the same way. From today onwards, I announce that the price of everything in the country should be halved and every effort should be made to provide free ration and jobs to the poor and disabled, and I hope that you will fulfill this responsibility well." "Yes, Ahmed said in surprise. "Yes, we have also decided to marry you to our daughter, and you will help us run the state by becoming a prince." Thus, the princess was married to Ahmed, and things became easier for the poor people.